Buy on MTG. Construct your deck. Command your board. Conquer the table.
Hello out there in the wide world of web. This is Rob with Buy on MTG. Looking at the change of the commander brackets. This is the beta thing, and yeah, it's a it was announced 3 days ago. Looking at that, it's February 11th, and didn't have the opportunity to jump onto the topic immediately, and that's probably for the best, because then you get to kind of think about it a little bit and mull it over. So the general concept is we've all been dealing with the power level thing. Is it a 1 or is it a 10? And what does that even mean in conjunction with what the deck does or how fast it can pop off? And there's a myriad of things that people would discuss. And our play group that I'm in, the way that we summarized is a 7 for us was an optimized deck, but didn't run all the fast mana, didn't run all the just open-ended tutors. And really, it kind of was about that, looking at anything that was an 8, 9, or 10 was something that ran Demonic Tutor or Vampiric Tutor and ran Mox Diamond and Chrome Mox and all of those other extremely powerful cards. And that's kind of how we more or less held our group in check, as opposed to the arms race that play groups run into a lot. So we didn't run all those fast manas. We didn't run all the tutors. And you could use pretty much anything else to include 2-card combos, but traditionally we tried to keep it to 3-card combos, and that was our 7. And looking at what the way that Gavin and the team has broken this down with the new brackets, I've just bump over to the brackets. That's essentially what we were doing. No 2-card combos, but they're saying late 2-card combos, which is fine. It's hard to impose a late 2-card combo, being that even without the extremely fast mana rocks with treasures and just generic, let's say, talismans or Felwar Stone in conjunction with treasures, you can get 8 to 10 mana on turn 3 pretty reasonably. Now, granted, that's like the nut draw if you've popped that many treasures and mana rocks, or just green with regular mana ramp. You can get up there pretty quick, but to say late game 2-card infinite combos, for me, late game implies beyond turn 5 or 6. If it's turn 6 or beyond, then you're mid to late game. But it's pretty easy to get a 2-card combo earlier than that without using all the fast mana rocks that they're talking about. But I assume that's going to be a self-imposed thing. Like, yeah, I might have it in hand, but I'm not going to use it because I don't want to have that early game win. Whatever. No mass land denial. Our play groups never really had an issue with the mass land denial. That's not something that ever really bothered us. If as long as there's a method to win, then who cares? But the chaining extra turns, there's not a lot of decks that really do that. So more or less that just hard targets like Narset. So sure, whatever. Nobody really plays the old Narset too much anymore. But I mean, she still is out there, and some people do. The big aspect that we're looking at here is the number of game changers. So game changers is a whole nother list, and this is what game changers are. Oh no, that's not game changers. That's a completely different show. This is game changers, and white game changers. Looking at this, obviously red and blue are the weakest colors in Commander because they have the least amount of game changers, right? Maybe not. But looking at this is the list of the game changers: Drannith Magistrate, is a bit of a hate card. Enlightened Tutor's just a tutor. Sarah's Sanctum is hellified ramp. So if Sarah's Sanctum's on there, you know Gaia's Cradle's on there. Smothering Tithe is just a taxing effect. Trouble in Pairs doesn't tax, but it definitely punishes people for playing Magic. And I could see that one being on there. Expropriate. I don't really, well, let's not skip over Cyclonic Rift. It's a Beasley card that can definitely win you a game, but Cyclonic Rift is, what is it, 7 mana? Yeah, Cyclonic Rift is a useful spell for 2 mana, but for 7 mana, it is a game changer. Game changer. But 7 mana, it definitely can, it can win you the game, or it can just prolong it and drag it out. And I think that aspect of it is what the people are having issues with. Expropriate. Expropriate's a good card, but it's also very expensive mana-wise, and not 100% sure that I would consider this one in the same category as like Smothering Tithe or Jessica's Will. I don't know. I think Expropriate just carries a bad rap. Can it win you a game? Yeah, if opponents give you all the extra turns, sure. But I don't know. Free interaction. Ristic Study's the same as Smothering Tithe or Trouble in Pairs, in my opinion. I categorize it the same. Thoracle is a beastly card, and it's very easy to take advantage of. Urza, sure, can be oppressive, but the interesting part about Urza High Artificer being on here is it's only really strong in the decks that lock down opponents. But if I go over here to colorless, I don't see Winter Orb, which leads me to over here potential adds or removals from the Game Changers list. I think Winter Orb is more oppressive than Expropriate. Stasis, more oppressive than Expropriate. So I think if I were to look at this, I would have Winter Orb on here before I had Expropriate, and similarly, I would have Stasis on here before I had Expropriate. But Expropriate is powerful by itself, but it's also a ton of mana. What is it, 7? Yeah, Expropriate's 9 mana. Well, if a spell costs 9 mana, it should win you the game, I would think, but who knows? What else are we looking at? Mystical Tutor, just another tutor. Jin-Gitaxias is just a hate piece, but that kind of puts me into the similar vein that if Jin-Gitaxias is on there, why isn't Stasis? Why isn't Winter Orb? Bullets the Citadel is just a great card, draws you a ton. I could see this one being on a card that is at a higher power level. Demonic Tutor, Imperial Seal, Vamp Tutor, sure. Those are all amazing cards. Op Agent, stopping people from tutoring isn't really, it's as strong as the other decks that are there. So if Op Agent is good, it's because the rest of the decks are running tutors. If Op Agent is good, that means people are digging through their library a lot more often. If the rest of the decks don't have tutors in it, Op Agent isn't that great. Let's see what else we're looking at. Turgid is an annoying card, similar to Jin-Gitaxias. So if Jin's there, then Turgid being there, sure. Ad Naus, I 100% agree. This card in the correct decks and the ones that actually do run it is a 5 mana draw 30 cards. And I concur that being in there. Jessica's Will, super powerful. Underworld Breach, more so a combo piece, but it's a powerful card, and the decks that do run it run the additional pieces that combo. Survival of the Fittest is just a critter tutor. It's definitely fallen out of favor. It's not considered or run as often in the CEDH community as it used to be. It's still a powerful card, though. Vorniclex, Voice of Hunger, sure. If Jin's there, Vorniclex is there, Turgid's there. Looking at the multicolor, Kinnan, Yuriko, Winota, All very powerful cards in CEDH. Grand Arbiter is just Grand Arbiter is there for the same reason Turgid's there. It's just an annoying card and slows down the game and not that fun to play against. But the other three multicolors are just beastly commanders and can be combo pieces. Under multicolor, I mean, if these three are there just due to their strength, and I know she's not as popular, but Najila to me is in the same category as at the very least Yuriko. I understand like Winota and Kinnan have a little bit more combo aspect to them, but Yuriko is strong out of the command zone, so is Najila. So I'm not 100% sure that Najila should have been omitted if Yuriko made the cut. But I do know they're probably trying to minimize the amount of cards on this list so that way it's not as, I guess, daunting to get everything, like so you have a full understanding of what's on there and why it's on there. Looking at colorless, all the fast mana rocks. Interesting that Ancient Tombs on there, but City of Traders is not. They're to me they're essentially the same, but Ancient Tomb does stick around where City of Traders does not. Tabernacle is just a stacks piece. I don't think this makes the cut, but this would fall back to the same argument that if Tabernacle's there, why isn't Winter Orb? Why isn't Stasis? And Glacial Chasm, yeah, it can shut down creature-based decks, but to make Glacial Chasm work in its entirety, you have to have land recursion, you have to have additional pieces that you can run it indefinitely, and you might not personally run a method to remove a land, even though you should. It doesn't have to be mass land removal, but if you have no interaction with a land, then I think your deck design needs a little bit of tuning. But like I said, with Glacial Chasm specifically, there's redundancy and alternative aspects to get those lands back, whether it's a Planeswalker that brings a land back, or if it's an artifact that allows you to bring that land back there, or just graveyard hate in general. And I think in a deck build, you should have all of those things. So I don't think Glacial Chasm makes the cut, but out of Glacial Chasm and Tabernacle, Glacial Chasm is a better card than Tabernacle. The dollars disagree with me, but I think that's just the impact of scarcity. Trinisphere being a symmetrical effect slows the game down, but it's not the same as a Smothering Tithe, because Smothering Tithe specifies opponents. Trinisphere is everyone. Can you build around Trini? Sure. But it requires additional pieces, and at that point, it's a few card combo. So I don't think Trinisphere's that strong of a card to be in the game changer category. You have to go out of your way to build around it. And I think that's in the entirety of it. When you look at cards that are within Game Changer, Bolus the Citadel, strong all by itself. Demonic Tutor goes and gets you something that is strong and finishes combos, but Demonic Tutor is by itself strong. Smothering Tithe, strong by itself. Rhystic Study, same. Trinisphere is not really that strong all by itself. It requires you to build around it, and that being said, I don't consider this as powerful as the remainder. So falling back to the potential adds and removals, Expropriate can come off of there. Trinisphere can come off of there. Tabernacle can probably come off of there. Glacial Chasm can come off of there. Grand Arbiter is annoying, but it's not I don't know. But if Grand Arbiter came off, then we would have to say Turgid comes off, Vorniclix comes off, Jin-Gitaxias comes off. And if all of those came off, I rarely see these cards. I think socially these cards get kind of policed up. But if they want to have them just so you don't have pub stomping taking place, then so be it. The Game Changers list is obviously not perfect. There are a million different cards that could be taken into consideration to add to or to take away from. But it is definitely a reasonable starting point. I'm going to pop back over to the brackets themselves and look at the top thing that I popped out over here. Does this fix everything, or does it even fix anything? Yeah, it fixes some stuff. I think, can you get around it? Of course you can. You can build excluding all the game changers and still build very, very fast decks in the three categories. You can still build threes that are on the cusp of a CEDH list and be very happy with that. Looking at two, they're saying this is the average current pre-constructed deck. I would say, yeah, that's pretty consistent. There are pre-constructed decks. There's a handful of them that have 2-card infinite combos. If you go back, I don't know, it was a couple months ago, we were doing the pre-con battles with the Duskmorn pre-cons, and I pulled off a 2-card infinite combo in a 100% factory pre-con. So they are in there, but they're not often in there. So I wouldn't say this is 100% definitively what a 2 is, but it is most pre-constructed decks. No mass land denial, that bothers people for some reason. It definitely different to everyone, but sure, I don't mind that it's in there. No chaining extra turns, sure. Most decks don't do that anyways. Exhibition, I feel like the exhibition category, I don't think I've ever built a deck that would fall within this category. And I don't know anyone who built a deck that would fall within this category. So from my personal perspective, we could just go ahead and mark out. I'm going to put an X over this thing somehow. I don't know. Editing, maybe, with the magic of the editing. Exhibition, to me, doesn't even need to exist. And getting rid of exhibition gives us just 4 categories, because right now, if you look at having 5, led me to this concept. Is 3 essentially the new 7? So everybody would, when you would ask strangers, and really people who didn't know how to assess their own decks, what power level is your deck? Everybody was, oh, it's a 7. It's a 7. It's a 7. That meant it's an upgraded pre-con, but it's not CEDH. Well, there's still a big swath of decks that could fall within that category. And if you give 7, obviously wasn't the middle, but in this, you give people a definitive middle. And I'm confident now when you ask people, once this system gets circulated, oh, what power level is your deck? Oh, it's a 3. If we get rid of 1s as just in its entirety, because like I said, I'm sure you're out there. I've never met you, and I don't know anyone in my area that even builds this. 2s, a pre-con is the baseline. If you're not pre-con level, then, well, I don't know, you're probably not going to win that much. But I hope you're having fun. So I'm going to put my hand over the 1, block that out. Let's do it this way. I think it would be a fun way to do this. We'll go there and just block you out. You're all gone, little ones. And this is what we're looking at. Pre-con, upgraded pre-con, min-maxed as much as possible, but it's not the handful of CEDH commanders. And you don't just run Thoracle every time you can. You don't through the breach or not through the breach. You don't underworld breach combo. That's this. This is a min-max deck, a 4 that has everything going for it, but you're not running the definitive best combos, Underworld Breach or Thoracle, and you're not running CEDH commanders. And then CEDH. Everybody knows what CEDH is. This is everything else you needed, and this is Every play is done decisively with the intent to win the game or further yourself in efforts to win the game. No hard feelings. Everybody's no politicking unless you're trying to just win. That's CEDH. So I think you really only need 4 categories: precons, upgraded precons, min-maxed decks, and then CEDH. I think that would be an easier and more decisive system. And you can't play the middle game. Oh, I'm in the middle. I'm a 7. Okay, now I'm a 3. Are you a 3 or a 4? That's and defining these two, defining 3 and 4. Honestly, I feel like what they did is fine. Optimize the game changers list a little bit better. I would say omit the 2-card combo and just say 3-card combos. And then 4 is running 2-card combos, as many game changers as you want, all the fast mana rocks you want. And CEDH is where the best combos come into play. That's where your Thoracles are. And yeah, you can run a Thoracle and an optimized, I guess, but to me that's not optimized. To me, you're trying to play at the CEDH table. You're just doing it with a jank commander. So you're using the commander for the color of the combo and not the commander specifically. So I guess whatever. But yeah, for me and my play group, that's generally how we've handled it. So yeah, Wizards, let's cut it down to just 4. Let's tighten up our game changers list. Let's shift this to 3-card combos, and you can do them at any time because the 3-card combo requires either a lot of luck or your game changers are a couple tutors and you got those in there. But yeah, I would like to know, you out there in the internet lands, in the wide world of web, what you think. Do you even need this category 1 exhibition? I don't believe so. Do you think the cards that are on this game changers list, are they good, bad, and different? What could be added to them? What could be pulled from them? And let's have some discussions down in the comments down below. I think it would be fun. And looking forward to seeing what your playgroup does. Does this not even affect you because your playgroup doesn't care? Or do you guys just all play combos? Or do you just play precons? I don't know. Overall, I will link this Commander bracket beta in the comments down below, just in case you haven't read it. And I hope you're all having a great day out there, and good luck and have fun.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below.